The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
No! I'm going down to Alphabet Street. I'm gonna crown this girl that I meet.
It is Tuesday night. July. Seriously, it is July 10th already. It has been, here's an F word for you, 4th of July. Come and gone. It's already, summer is almost over. I can't even believe it. This is Cathy. I've got Jonathan on here for
Hi,
the
Cathy.
Financial 15. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. How was your 4th?
Oh, so nice.
What did you
Barbecued, hung out with a bunch of little babies.
Wow. Babies. It's like I said, I'm gonna have to, come steal one. I'm gonna have to steal it. I'll give it back. Let me just do the grandma practice. One. Yeah, I'll practice being a grandma. I don't think I'm too cool to be called grandma though. Not that grandmas aren't cool. So I'll have to think of something really good. But Jonathan, we got you for 15 minutes. So I don't want to take up too much of your time because I've got my darling old hag of a friend, Christine Penzel, on here with us tonight. And I'm going to let you go ahead. Say hello, Christine.
Hi.
There she is. I've known Christine since the 10th grade, everybody. So she and I are going to be talking. But we're going to let Jonathan go ahead and talk about what he's got to talk about. Of course, all good things financially related.
That's right. Well, the last couple of weeks we've been talking about some different ways to plan retirement. Talking about the IRA, the Roth IRA, some of the different options people have if they want to put some money away for the future and invest it. Tonight I'd like to talk about a particular retirement account that is just for business owners, specifically small business owners, whether a sole proprietor or somebody that has a few employees, and it's called the Simplified Employee Pension, or the SEP.
So actually there are pensions still available.
That's right. There are, and this is a pension that you set up on your own. So it's not like a state pension.
Okay, well, tell me more about this, because how do you set this up on your own? And number one, though, if you're self-employed, you're kind of SOL until, how long has this been going on?
I'm not sure how long the SEP has been around, but basically, like, last week we talked about the IRA or the Roth IRA and how great those options can be if somebody wants to put some money away for the future. You get to either defer your taxes and pay them later, or you get to pay your taxes now and then retire tax-free. Mm-hmm. But if you happen to be a business owner, this is a unique opportunity because it provides you with tax opportunities like an IRA. You get to defer taxes to plan for retirement, but you also get the benefit of being able to put a whole lot more money into this thing. So basically the IRS set aside a retirement account that's just for business owners that allows you to pack tons of money into this. And at the same time, you can also provide that same benefit for all of your employees on a tax-deferred basis. So if you were kind enough, magnanimous enough as a business owner to set up a pension for your workers, they can have their own IRA, their own Roth IRA on the side, but also they get this awesome SEP program, which is just a whole other retirement account where the business owner can pack as much money in there as he wants to.
Wow, so there's no limits on this?
There are limits, but with a regular IRA, the amount that you can put in there is $5,500 a year. Unless if you are over 50, then you can put $6,500. With a SEP, the amount that you can put in there is $55,000 a year.
Whoa. So, wait, let's just say, for example, I have a business, and I can start putting away $55,000 a year?
That's right.
For retirement.
Let's say you're a sole proprietor, okay?
Wow.
By the way, you can set one of these up at your local bank. You can do it with a financial advisor. They're very easy to set up. They're intended to be a straightforward option if people want to plan for retirement. So let's imagine you're just a sole proprietor, whatever company, and in this scenario, you're the business owner, and you're also your only employee. So you make all the contributions to this, and all the contributions you make are tax deferred, so you don't pay any taxes on what you put into this. It's just like an IRA. And also like an IRA, you take out the withdrawals starting at age 59 and a half. So you might ask, why not just open an IRA? Well, it's because, unlike an IRA, you can pump $55,000 a year into this thing, or 25% of your income, depending on which one's lower. It's whichever one of those is lower. And actually, that limit increases over time to keep up with inflation. So this is just an opportunity only available to business owners to max fund a pretty massive retirement account. And once it's in there, you, the business owner, can control where the investment is actually placed. So you can put it into mutual funds, stocks, bonds, whatever you want. This is just
annuities.
The chassis.
Okay.
You can put this into any investment vehicle you want.
Okay. So for example, you go and you meet with an advisor and he recommends a safe money alternative, such as an indexed annuity. So you can take the SEP. You can actually, because there are annuities that are out there that you can do flexible premiums annually, and you can do a SEP into a fixed indexed annuity, and you participate in some of the market gains, but none of the losses. So I think that's really a good idea, especially later on in life, too. Mm-hmm. So like somebody who just got older but not wiser last week, that would be something maybe that I would look at myself, and then having something that would give me guaranteed income for life with myself.
Yeah, an annuity is one option. I'm not sure if you can actually put money into an annuity if you're contributing to a SEP, but that would definitely be something to talk to a financial advisor about.
Yeah.
I do know that when you have a SEP, you have a lot of control over where that money is put in. Mm-hmm. And what's really cool about this is that if you are an employee, so let's say we're not talking about a sole proprietor, we're talking about a business owner. A business owner is the only one that can contribute to a SEP. Okay, so let's say a business owner has 2 employees and he wants to set up his own retirement account and then a pension for his employees. That business owner can create the SEP, fund it for all the employees, but the employees control where the investments go. And the employees are 100% vested, meaning the employees automatically own the entire value of the account.
Right away.
Right away. So even if the business owner pays for it, it's kind of like a profit-sharing thing. The business owner decides, we've had a really good year, I'm going to fund a pension for all my employees. But unlike what like a teacher pension looks like, where the employee has no control over where the money goes, the employee can pick the stocks, can pick the mutual funds, can pick index funds, whatever he wants to do with the money. He decides when he takes it out. So it's a really cool, flexible program. The business owner can also decide how much to put in there. So if, if he's really flush, he's had a really great year, he can max fund it if he wanted to. Not that he would put in $55,000 per employee, but he can put in a lot of money for his employees. And then if times get tough, there's a recession, that business owner loses clients, he can cut the contribution down depending on need. So this becomes a really cool profit-sharing program. Gives people some buy-in. The
profit-sharing program, and also it's an employee retention program, too.
That's right.
Because especially if you're a small employer, a lot of times you don't have as many of the perks as, corporate America offers. But this
absolutely.
This gives them more of a reason to stay.
That's why this exists. We know that corporate jobs come with 401ks, but let's say you're a plumbing contractor and you've got 2 employees, 401k might be out of your reach. This is something you can easily set up, funded by the boss, but owned and controlled by the workers. Really great balance.
Okay.
And
I like that.
Yeah, and there's some rules involved, just like any of these retirement accounts. Like, for example, one of the crucial rules is that all the employee contributions have to be at the same rate for all eligible employees, And you decide when you set it up what eligible means. So one example of eligible would be you decide when you set it up that somebody has to have worked at your business 3 years. And if they've worked 3 years, everybody that's worked 3 years has to be a part of this. So you can't say, Gary, I'm going to give you a pension, but Larry, I'm not going to give you one. Yeah. And you have to fund them equally. Okay. So if you say I'm going to pay 10% of everybody's income, it's across the board, every employee
10%, right?
It's 10%. Yeah. That way,
I'll just pay Larry way less. That's how I do it on that. He's kind of lazy, lazy Larry.
That's right. Okay. Lazy Larry gets the same pension as hardworking Gary.
That's funny.
So yeah, this is just a really cool option out there. If anybody listening owns a business and you're thinking of planning for retirement and you're thinking, I got to set up my IRA, consider setting up a SEP IRA instead, because then there's basically the ability to fund this thing, to an extreme degree.
No, true. So literally, they can put it in any vehicle. Give us a summary again of the SEP, just in closing. So we have, and then the other ones too. Just here's what the IRA is, the Roth IRA. We have other ones out there. You mentioned teachers. I hope we're going to cover that.
Well, teacher pensions are a different story because
are we going to do that a different week? Maybe?
Sure, we can talk about... Well, I'll talk about other options, but, the teacher pension, I could talk about that. I could do an episode on that. It's not something that people have a lot of choice over. The teacher pension, you don't get to elect to join it. If you're, at least in California, in my experience, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't done extensive research on what pensions look like across the country. I just know from my own experience of being a teacher, you don't get to pick where the investments go. You don't get to choose what is taken out of your paycheck. It's just a part of being a teacher that you get vested into the pension program, which is why as a teacher I also went and set up a Roth account for myself so that I just have something extra in case if pensions, pensions can be destroyed by the legislature.
If they go away.
Yeah.
Right, and you lose it.
So, to recap from previous episodes, an IRA, which is an individual retirement account, is a retirement account where you can put up to $6,500 a year if you're over 50, $5,500 if you're under 50. But basically, you fund the account, you pick where the investments go, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and then once it's in there, you can't touch the money until you're 59 and a half without facing a penalty. And there are exceptions to that, but that's the general rule. Every dollar you put in there is tax deferred. It's money that you have not paid income taxes yet. You get to go through the entire life of that investment without paying taxes, and then when you retire, you pay taxes on the investment as well as all the gains at your personal income tax rate. The Roth IRA is just like an IRA in most ways, except you pay the taxes before you make the investment. So you're paying taxes on income that you are then locking away in a lockbox, which makes you feel poorer now because you're paying taxes now on money you can't touch. But when you retire, all the investments and all the gains are tax-free, which is great.
Beautiful.
SEP is everything we talked about tonight, but it's just remember that a SEP is an IRA, not a Roth. So there's no Roth version of a SEP. The business owner
That's good to know.
It is. The business owner that puts money into the SEP gets a tax write-off. They don't pay taxes on the income that they've pumped into their employee's SEP or their own. The employee that withdraws the money pays income taxes at the time of withdrawal. And the last thing I'll say is if you are interested in a Roth version of this, next week we're going to talk about the solo 401k, which is another option for small business owners that does come with a Roth version.
Ooh, that's good. And so, explain to everybody too, because what you're talking about, I've had people in the past say, well, what's qualified money and non-qualified money? Believe me, I've had advisors say, what's the difference again? It's like, ooh,
sure.
Hold on.
There's confusion about this if you read different articles on the internet, so it makes sense that people wouldn't be exactly sure, but the official IRS definition, as far as I understand it, is qualified money means a retirement account that's tied to your job. Okay, so 401k would be qualified, whereas an IRA or Roth IRA would not be qualified. However, there's disagreement. There's different articles that also say an IRA is qualified because it's tax deferred, and that's how you define qualified. I don't think that's what the IRS means by qualified, but basically, anything tied to your job. So a 401k is definitely a qualified account. That's it's kind of a complicated answer to a simple question.
Okay, well that's good. So I'll fail that class then, thanks. Yeah, thank you. So we'll have a quiz on this, everybody, from our economics teacher, because
non-qualified plans, examples of that would be annuities and life insurance strategies that insurers offer as alternatives or supplements to qualified plans. Qualified plans typically allow the participant to contribute pre-tax money to the plan, and then it can grow tax-deferred until it's taken out at a future date. So under that definition, an IRA would be considered qualified, whereas a life insurance or annuity strategy would not be qualified.
Correct. Okay. Wonderful. Christine, did you learn anything?
I sure did.
Yes. So, Christine was military, so she's got military retirement. So she's got, the TSP and deal that she deals with. So, I know some of these things, but I don't like to let on because then people might think I'm a little bit smarter than I act. But yes, because it works really well when you get pulled over. But Jonathan, no, this was great. So that's the step, everybody. Where can they go tonight and anytime to find out more information or to get more information from you?
Well, I've created a website just on the SEP, and it's at www.onepointbusiness, so all spelled out, 3 words, ONE, POINT, business.com/SEP for SEP. The onepointbusiness.com/SEP if you want more information about this particular account. You can also email me if you'd like. My email address is jonathan@onepointbusiness.com. If you are interested in setting up one of these accounts, I'm not a financial advisor myself. I am an economics teacher, so I'm all about teaching financial literacy. But if you would like to be connected to a licensed, qualified financial advisor that can help you understand the tricky world of finance, I am happy to connect you to somebody that I trust.
Thank you. And I trust that you will get somebody that we trust. All right. Until next week, unless I talk to you before then.
Thank you, Cathy.
Jonathan.
Hope you have a great night.
Right. Hey, you too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So, everybody, I am so excited to have my old hag of a friend, who I call Hagatha, and I'm actually old hag. I have had more fun times with this girl than so many other people. Nobody makes me laugh harder. Christine Penzel, welcome to the F word.
I'm so happy to be here, Cathy.
Oh my God.
Old hag.
Old hag. I mean, what's so funny is when we went over to my brother's house and he saw it and he looks down and he's like, hey, old hag. I mean, it's like even my brother. Oh my gosh. So we've known each other since 10th grade. I mean, isn't it just weird to think? I mean, we thought we knew everything back then.
Oh, I know.
And you did. You knew so much more than me. I was always so impressed at how worldly you were. Remember when you took me downtown?
Yes, I do remember. Yep.
And these guys were like saying something, and I'm going, what? And you're going, come on, Cathy. And I'm like, wait, what?
No, don't talk to them.
Don't talk. And then I walk up and I go, what? And then he goes, if you believe a lie, would you believe the truth? And you're like, get over here. It was a pimp, right?
Yeah. And you're like, hi, my name's Cathy.
So 10th grade, me doing that downtown Minneapolis, first experience downtown, first person I talked to is a pimp. Okay, so now let's fast forward this many years now later, which we don't need to let anybody know how many years it really is. But Christine goes with me up to the cabin in northern Wisconsin, and we're on our way up there and stop at a gas station. Christine, tell our good friends what happened.
We stop at a gas station that is closed, okay? The pumps are on, of course, so you can pay with a credit card. But Cathy pulls off to the side of the gas station to let dogs out, okay? Cathy's around the side. I stand back far enough to watch this guy who's over at the pumps pumping gas. Okay, Cathy's oblivious over on her phone with the dogs, okay? I'm watching the guy. He leans into his car window, gets something out, puts it in his pocket. He's walking toward us. I'm going, Cathy, she's still oblivious. I'm panicking over here, watching this guy come toward us. And she looks over, and when she sees him, goes, "Hi, I'm Cathy." While I'm preparing to be murdered.
And I'm just like, well, actually, he came over. Now, everybody, just, public service announcement, I don't condone smoking, so I wasn't smoking, but Christine was having a cigarette, so I'm kind of telling on you. But not that everybody doesn't know. But he came over to have a cigarette also. So that's when he's like, because he goes, "Oh, cigarette break." And that's when I said, "Oh, hi, I'm Cathy." In my defense. So he had already spoken first. But that's not any, but he did let us know that he was a Native American dancer, right?
Yes.
So he was very nice, and we went along our merry way. Well, no, first what he did was he apologized if his brights were shining in our mirror. That's what he did. So I'm not like just randomly walking up to strangers. Well, I probably am. "Hi, I'm Cathy." But no, here's where it gets good. So we get in the car, and what do you say?
I asked Cathy, so in the event of the apocalypse, who would live longer, me or you?
Well, me, of course.
Because you would say, "Hi, I'm Cathy."
And so I'm like, I'd live longer because everybody would like me because I'm nice.
And I'd say, well, I would just shoot them.
And then I'd be a zombie.
Yes.
And then I'd be down in a bunker because you've created the safe haven, and you're this,
survivalist.
Survivalist. There we go.
Green bunker. Yep, out in the woods.
And so all of the zombies would be sequestered down there, and I'd be going, "Christine, let me come up. I'm not going to eat you." Right?
I'd be like, "No, I don't think so."
But Christine's going to listen to me because she does things when I suggest it, like jumping off a bridge.
I did. I listen to you.
I know, you listen to me. And so that... And then we came up with the story, because now we're going to have a whole TV show around me being a zombie.
Yeah.
And because I guess there's shows out there that there was one that you said that, or was it Austin? Was it you? There's one that stays young and alive, or there's a show that if she just eats brains, she looks normal, right?
That's called iZombie, yes.
Okay.
Yep, she eats the zombie brains, and she works in a morgue so she can get the zombie brains. Yep, but she takes on the personality of the brains that she eats. That's the problem. So if they're manic depressive, or if they're a murderer or something like that, so that could be a problem.
That could be a problem, but I decided to solve that problem and decided for all womankind, I, zombie Cathy, would only go after the men that did us wrong. And instead of his brains, I would go after his other brain, the one he thinks with, and that in itself would be its own show. So I think that would be, well, I'd be like, it'd be almost like a soft porn movie, but horror in the same, because it'd be like, like, it would be like some, crazy, like porn music starts playing, and all of a sudden you see my head go down, and then you see the guy's face in sheer horror as I rip it off and eat it, and he dies. So, so that's the kind of thing driving to Wisconsin that we came up with.
Yeah, and then of course we had to come up with our lists of who Cathy would have to go after first.
Yes, and there's quite a long list, folks. So guys, you know who you are. You better make right by us, because in the event of a zombie apocalypse, you never know. Don't trust me. Yes. Yeah, there's quite a list, and there's some that we put right at the front. So
of course,
and they know who they are.
They do.
But okay, so that's 10th grade. Jumping back to 2 weeks ago. Now let's go back to high school again. Okay. And some of the most fun that we ever had. Our old high school, Chapel Hill. My gosh, the people there. I mean, look at that, friendships from our, literally our. We thought we were adult life, but we weren't. We were teenagers.
Yes.
So, Christine, you did kind of corrupt me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, don't even try. Don't even try. You can't corrupt the willing, Cathy.
There you go. Okay, well, I was always the curious. I'm curious. What's that?
Yeah, you drove when we went out and got high and then went and bought Cheetos. Okay?
And then went to school.
Yeah, and laughed the whole time during morning opening prayers.
Oh my gosh, right? I know. With cheesy fingers. Oh my, how did they not catch on? They had, Okay, wait. So there were the teachers. And so there was Mr. Bourne. Who else?
Mr. Peterson. And
Mrs. Baroker. Mrs. Anus Broker.
Whose real name was Addis, but you were convinced it was Anus.
Well, it's pronounced Adis. And one of the guys told me, yeah, Mrs. Broker's name is Anus. I'm like, what? And so I heard one of the other teachers call her that, and I went, oh my God, it really is. So I was convinced. And I think it wasn't until, because it was the first year I was there, I think it wasn't until we got our yearbooks that I saw how her name was spelled. And then I looked at Ben, I'm like, jerk.
I didn't remember that until about 6 months ago when I was lying in bed. I was laughing so hard and tears running out of my eyes. Anus Broker.
Anus. Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. And then there's so we smoked cigarettes. I got suspended twice. How many times did you get suspended?
Only once, but then I got kicked out 2 months later for rebelliousness.
Oh, yeah, folks, yeah, it was a Christian school. I mean, it still is, and it's a great school, don't get me wrong. We were just...
Oh, no, I take it back. I got suspended twice.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so what were you suspended for?
Once was for buying pot, and the second time...
How did they know you bought pot? Did you, what, they caught you?
Yeah, they had secondhand information. And
See,
then...
that's what I hate. Who, you know what? I know who told. There was a tattletale.
No. It was the German exchange student.
Really?
Yes. And then it was from her that I got the pot. Okay. And then the second time, it was for staying out overnight at my boyfriend's house.
And what business is it of theirs?
My parents told on me.
See? What the heck? It's that was like, I remember, like, not being at school and another kid seeing me and another kid sneaking a cigarette and telling.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I wasn't there. I was, but I lied. I'm like, what? No, that wasn't me. And I'm like, how can I get in trouble for somebody telling on me and none of you are there and it's not even during school hours? I never understood that.
I don't either. And you know what? My brother just told me just this last weekend that Mr. Case, that was our headmaster.
Yes. That's going to be part of my show, too. I'm going to be a headmistress.
Yeah. Told my brother that I told on him that he smoked cigarettes, and that's why he never got his letter for his letter for sports that year, because I told on him that he smoked cigarettes, which I don't remember ever doing.
That's probably because you were high. How come I don't remember the German exchange students? Was that in 10th grade?
Charlotte? That was in 9th grade.
Oh, I got there in 10th grade. That's why.
Right.
Oh my God, you were doing that in 9th grade? What a hooligan.
Yeah. That roller skating. It's a roller skating rink.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Every weekend.
Did you go to Cheapskate or Roller Gardens?
The one in Eden Prairie. I forget. That was Cheapskate, wasn't it?
No, that was in Minnetonka.
No, there's one in Eden Prairie.
There was?
Yes.
I never went to that one.
Yeah, that's the one we went to all the time. And then there was a barn down the road, and we would skip second session, and we'd all walk down to the barn down the road and get high and make out in the loft, in the hayloft.
Wow, I missed out in 9th grade, I guess. I didn't even kiss my first boy until 9th grade.
See, that's how I wound up corrupting you.
I know, see? Because in 10th grade, and I kissed Ed Weiniger in church. He was crawling under the pews. We were getting ready to go on a youth group event overnight, New Year's Eve, and it was all dark in the chapel. And I was sitting, a bunch of us were just waiting for the bus to get there. And I'm sitting in one of the pews, and all of a sudden he kind of knocked on my hand and motioned for me to lean down, and that was my first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I sat in the bus next to him, and we held hands. I was so excited. That was 9th grade. But so then 10th grade, I meet the old hag. And smoke pot. But you weren't it wasn't like that was the first time I ever did. I think
No.
But, yeah, we were just, we weren't bad, we were just naughty.
Yeah, we were naughty girls.
Because it wasn't like, yeah, but they sure were nosy. That's where I didn't like them being so nosy.
Oh, I know. They were all up in our business, weren't they? Just like parents.
God. I know. Let my parents parent me. Stay out of it.
Yeah.
God. And so then, okay.
I'm sure about them.
So what did you, so rebelliousness was the second one because you stayed out overnight. That's what they called it?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I was gone for more like a week.
Well, that was my second time, too. I was out for a week because I go, good. Does this mean I get to be kicked out?
Yeah.
Yes. And then I come back. And of course, I show up on Chapel Day wearing jeans because I'm rebellious.
Yeah.
My dad was not happy. My gosh. But see, the problem is my poor parents, I don't know how they dealt with me. Why they even still let me in their house. Because...
Well, what else were they going to do with you?
Right. No, I mean now. Now. Well, now I've given them grandkids, so they kind of have to deal with me.
Yeah.
But
so they're kind of forgiving you.
Yeah, they have. But no, so literally, the first time I got suspended, that was for 3 days. And that was for smelling like cigarette smoke, and it was me, Nancy, and Robin. And so somebody went in and checked her glove compartment because we all rode to school together that day. And so they found cigarettes, so we all got suspended, and then we all had to repent and say we were sorry to everybody. And not mean it, because we didn't. Isn't that horrible? God, we're horrible teenagers. And then the second year was when I snuck out of the house, go to a George Thorogood concert with a bunch of guys from Minnetonka. My parents said I couldn't go. See, this is what I mean. No, you can't go. It's a school night, and there's a blizzard. So what do? I sneak out and go anyway, and I don't bring a coat. And so we get all the way out there, can't get in because you had to be 19. And then got the van stuck in the blizzard overnight, didn't have cell phones. And some miracle, my dad goes driving by at 5 in the morning, finds us. I know. Oh my gosh. So I didn't sleep all night. They made me go to school. And I had to drive to school because I also had to work at Target. And so my parents, I drove to school, and I went in there and I sat by you. I remember. And I go, F, this is the F word. F this.
Yeah.
I'm not staying. I'm leaving. And so I left. I got up out of chapel, and right as soon as chapel was over, I got my car and left. So that was 11th grade.
Yeah.
And of course I called my parents. And I ended up going to work. I just skipped the whole day and went and hung out with my friends and partied, because everybody I hung out with now had already graduated, so they were cool.
Right.
And then, oh my God, Christine. I had to go to work, and then the next day my dad had to take me into Mr. Case's office. And that's when I hate this place. You guys suck.
I'm surprised the headmaster didn't paddle you with his paddle.
Right.
That was hanging on the wall.
What kind of sick thing is that anyway? Do you know anybody that had that?
No, and there are holes in the paddle so there'd be less air resistance, so it could really whack you a good one,
But yeah, I don't think he ever did. I mean, I don't know. Did he ever really do it? I have no idea. Or was it just there to put the fear of God into us?
I think so. I don't know of anybody that actually got paddled, but I think he liked having it there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Dick Case, remember that?
Oh my gosh, yes. What a dick case. So then I had to go. So it was 3 days, and then I come back, and I'm like, screw this place. I was still a little brat. And then he goes, okay, we're going to give you the rest of the week. And I was cool with that. So I'm like, cool. I get to stay home. And, my parents both work, so I was like, whatever, I'm watching TV, I'm good. I didn't care.
When I got suspended, or when I got kicked out too, I was totally cool with it. I went from what I figured was taking 13 classes, totally high pressure, to taking 4, and only one of those was a real class.
Oh, great. When we went to the public school for our senior years? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, gee, punish me some more.
Right? Oh, and guess what? They don't really know if I'm here or not, so I'm going to skip.
And as soon as I went to public school, they didn't know what my parents' signatures looked like.
So I did the same thing.
I started writing my own notes.
Agatha, no, I did exactly the same thing. How crazy. I did not know until this moment that you did that.
Yeah.
And I did that too, because the very first day of school, and I had homeroom, I stole a pack of admit slips too.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
I did. So that I knew all the teachers' initials, And so I could forge all the teachers' initials, and I also signed everything for my mom as well. And so that was her signature. I could probably still do her signature today.
That's awesome. Although when I was in middle school, at the end of the day, I would pick up all the slips, the absence slips from the teachers.
Yep.
And all the kids in middle school that would skip classes to go smoke pot down by the pond, they would tell me, they would let me know what classes they skipped so I would erase their names from the lists.
Oh my God. See, there's always a racket. Did you make money off of that?
No. But I got friends off of that, so that was cool.
Christine's a cool one. Christine's a cool one that can get us off the list.
Yeah.
I mean, really. So, I mean, everybody. So, obviously, we go back. We're definitely very similar. Christine is one of my heroes. You are, honey. You joined the Army. So we went. How old were you when you went in?
I was 22.
22. So we had already. All right. Oh man, we partied. Oh Lord. So, and enough. Well, didn't you get a DUI or something?
Yes, I did. Before I joined. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I, by the grace of God, never had that. I've had the cops open my car door and me fall out and still get away with it.
Only you.
No, honestly, only me. Only me. And in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about another only me story that you don't know about yet. And that's got to do with the F word, food, okay? So don't let me forget.
Okay.
But, okay, so 22 years old, you went and you joined. Did I go with you?
No.
Sign up? Okay. I think I don't know how old I was that I decided I didn't want to do that when I found out that they were going to have to draw my blood. Like, no. Because I was always a baby about that. And then I just went, no, that's too much structure for me. But so you joined. Okay, you're 22 years old. You went to Texas, right? Where did you start out?
Well, I went to basic training at Fort Jackson in South Carolina. I went to my first AIT for truck driving at Fort Dixon, New Jersey, and my first duty assignment was at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas, with 3rd Armored Cavalry. So I drove flatbed trucks there in the desert. So that was my first enlistment.
How long did you stay in, honey?
For 5 years.
You know, the thing is so many people don't give women credit for serving. I mean, they always think of men in the military. And, you know, my mother being military, she always likes to point out women are there too. And to go in, be somewhere where it's male dominated, to be there and to succeed, and you gave it 5 years, and I just have to say thank you, because it is women like you that show other women that, you know what, you can do anything you freaking want.
Yeah, I mean, there's women in combat positions now, too, and only 1% of our population serves now, and, you know, those that do are very happy to do it, and, you know, you're all very welcome for, you know, what we do. We appreciate your thing, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, people just take it for granted. I mean, we just had the 4th of July. You know, our freedom. Independence Day is not because we sat around on our asses and skipped school and got high and had fun and all that good stuff. No, it's because people like Christine, like my parents, like my son, like your son, everybody else before them and to come, give us the freedoms that we're allowed. So, like, Christine and I can giggle about the old days and make up funny shit. Like, what was the name that you came up with the other week?
About your show?
Not my show. You came up with a good, okay, everybody. So when I go to Cabo, I always come up with some names. So, for example, one of the years I said, okay, I've got my name. Everybody's got to call me not Demi Moore, I'm Doomy Moore. And so my friend, I said, and this is my sister, she's Anya Moore. So that was very funny, and it's even funnier when you're drinking in Mexico. I'm not going to lie, it really is. But then I've come up with some really hysterical names over the years. But you came up with one, and we couldn't stop laughing.
Yes, my drinking name is Ivana DeWitt.
Ivana DeWitt.
Yes, Ivana DeWitt.
DeWitt. And I'm her sister, Anita DeWitt. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So, and then there was this guy that I met that day named Dick Fitzwell. That's one of my all-time favorites. But the things that, the silly things that we giggle about, I mean, when there's so much serious going on in the world, I mean, we always have a soldier to thank. And so, again, I thank you, my friend.
And you are always welcome.
But I have just enjoyed having you up here in town. So, tell everybody you moved down to Florida.
Yes.
4 years ago.
Yes.
And I'm very happy that you've been up here for a month. And I've been able to spend more quality time with you than it seems like ever.
Yeah. It's been great.
And sober, even.
Yes.
Because a lot of our favorite times are the ones that we can't remember, but the ones that we do remember are pretty hysterical. There was a time, we were both about 19. Christine was living with me and my parents and sharing my bedroom. And I'd been out at the State Fair all day drinking in the Midway. And there was no bathrooms in the Midway, so I was with all guys. That was me. I was always one of the guys. And I would go to the bathroom under the tractor trailers and tell everybody, guard for me while I go to the bathroom. And so I get home, I was drinking malt liquor all day, and Christine hears, what was it, me rustling around?
There were grocery bags with some clothes in them that were around the desk in the room.
And I had a desk that was built into the wall.
Right.
Without a side to it.
Right. And I hear, in the middle of the night, I hear these bags being moved around. And all of a sudden, I hear liquid splashing on the floor. And I'm like, Kathy, wake up! The bathroom is across the hall!
And I told you to guard for me.
Yeah, guard for me!
Thinking I'm under a tractor, but I'm under my desk in my room. Oh my god, pink. And I had a hardwood floor too, so it's splashing.
It's splashing! Oh my god!
Oh my god. And so that's, oh Lord. The fun that we have had and the history. I mean, it's because of Christine that I have a couple of amazing kids. I already had Keaton, but Christine and her then husband introduced me to they introduced me to my future ex-husband, which is right. And
I don't know if you should be thanking me for that.
You know what? You look at my kids. Yeah, I have to thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Austin and Mason, if we didn't have them, the world would be just not as entertaining. Yeah. They're amazing children. But
sure.
And then Christine, your kids. So I was lucky enough to go be a bridesmaid in Christine's wedding in Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Yep.
And I was a bridesmaid from hell.
Stayed with me on my wedding night. Yeah.
I spent your wedding night with the two of you. Yes. What do you mean we have to go pick Cathy up from her uncle's house? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my uncle called me a Jezebel.
But then I knew all too well what your uncle was like. I had to move out of his house.
Right.
when my husband, we had a church wedding a year after our wedding at the Justice of the Peace. And while my husband was in Saudi, I stayed with her uncle. And when her uncle gave me a cleaning list to do that included vacuuming his ceilings, I knew it was time to move out.
Yeah. Vacuuming the ceilings. I'm going to hire Christine, come over to my house.
And passed it out at work, and everybody was laughing about it. It was too good.
Oh my God. The times that we've had, and the mileage, and the fact that we're still here to talk about it is what's amazing. Because, like, remember we'd be at the Classic, and at the end of the night, the bar would close. Sidewalk sale time.
Right.
All the parties that we would go to, the guy that had Tourette's that I didn't, and I didn't know what Tourette's was, and so when he looked at me, he was like, "Fuck, fuck, fuck, fuck." I went, "Fuck, fuck," right back at him, and everybody was on the floor laughing. I was like, "What?" And he's trying to explain to me what Tourette's is. I'm like, oh, whatever.
And then he'd do coke, and it would just make it worse.
Oh, God. That was just like those days. It's just crazy, but it was so much fun. And I remember just getting like so dressed up and, being out, elegant and falling down the stairs.
Falling down the stairs. I did that more than once. I don't know about you, but
oh, God. Well, I did it and broke glass and had glass sticking out of my legs, ripped my dress up, and I was a piece of work. I still have the scar on my knee from the glass that was sticking out of my side of my knee. Big old chunk. You know me and blood. That doesn't go over very well. Things that don't go over very well. Here's something. There's an F word from last night. Oh my God, Christine, you have not heard this yet. So, I went out to dinner. Keaton was in town. So Keaton, Austin, and Shelby and I went to this restaurant, and I'm not going to name it. Okay, I'm just not going to do it because they handled it with grace. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have officially been a vegan for a month, and that in itself is like this absolutely huge accomplishment. So this restaurant is one of the more upper scale ones. And they've got a great menu. But the salad that I ordered had feta cheese, so I said, could I, instead of the cheese, have avocado? Not a problem. So I do that. I order that. I ordered edamame for an appetizer. Ordered a salad, and then I also said, hey, how do you do the Brussels sprouts? And they went, oh, we grill them. I go, okay, I'll get that too. So everybody else ordered their food. I ordered mine. I ordered sparkling water. Everybody else was having cocktails. It's so weird when you're having cocktails with your kids. You remember them having bottles, Yeah. But third bite into my salad. How is everything? We're all chatting. I'm like, oh, what's this in my mouth? Because it didn't. I'm like, it was not what my food was, right?
Right.
I have to take a deep breath. It was a fingernail.
Oh my God.
No, it was, so now, F word, fingernail, in my food, fucking A, and, oh my God, and I go, oh, it's a fingernail, and I drop it on the plate where my edamame was, and I immediately grab my napkin, and I'm like, right?
Your food.
And so Keaton grabs it and he goes, no way, it's not. And so he picks it up and he's like, oh my God, it is a fingernail, right? And then Austin and Keaton are looking at me going, Mom, don't cause a scene. And I'm like, get the waiter.
Somebody get the waiter. Cut off their fingernail with the food.
Somebody, so the person, it was a woman's long fingernail. It was a real fingernail, not one of those fake tips. It was her fingernail, and it had fingernail polish on it.
Oh, my God. Who it belonged to.
Yeah, so they knew who it belonged to. Yep, the prep chef. And, yeah, so they were horrified. I mean, even the waiter, he came over and he started doing the, right? Oh, my God, Christine. I have not been able to eat today. I tried to eat some carrots. They were slimy to me. They comped everything. They're like, everything. They're like, oh, my gosh. Well, I wasn't going to eat anything. I mean, the kids decided not to eat anymore. And, oh, my God. So, you know, and the kids are like, yeah, Mom, why does everything happen to you? I'm like, really? I know. Why does it happen to me? And then the kids they're going, this is your karma for always complaining about your food and sending it back. I'm like, I do what? I'm like, no. And so then here's Austin, of course, being my kid that he is. He goes, because I said, well, I want to see how much it was, because, you know, I wanted to tip our waiter really well, because it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
But we only got about a minute before we have to go. But anyway, so I go, I need to give him a really good tip. And Austin goes, oh, you mean like finger tip? and then they're joking around like, yeah, they really nailed that salad. It was just like horrible. But everybody, you know what, Christine, I am so glad you got to be on the show with me tonight, and we could go down memory lane and share some favorite F words. And you're one of my favorite friends. I love you to pieces. Love you so much.
Love you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. We will talk to you next week on the F Word. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.